Well, it's looking forward to a doubleheader of racing on a Saturday. We're going to focus on our own meeting here on the Highveld. It is on the standside track of Turffontein, where it is 12:30, the off time to that first of our 9-race bonanza. I say bonanza. 3 listed features on the card. It is the Oaks Trial. It is the Derby Trial, now renamed the Awam. And of course, we have the Aquanut, the listed Aquanut, which will be our longest race on the afternoon over the 2,700 meters. First race is off at 12:30. We will not be spending too much time on the first race because it does not form part of the exotics, but we do spend time in introducing our guest, and that is our regular and resident analyst, Mr. Marie. It's wonderful to be with you.
Likewise,
and,
you know what, Seth?
What's
Great to be back with you, but I'm not in a good mood, eh? I woke up in a good mood this morning. I thought my form's changed. I've been tipping winners. And there I got a message from Mr. Naidu from North Dean once again. And Cheryl Mayers was very upset with me out at Durbanville on Wednesday. I mean, I tipped the entire card and she went and slated me. So I suggest to Cheryl, you know what, put the citizen down. It can only end in tears. So, yeah, let's start with the opening leg of the Bipot. I've played the safe route.
Very good way to come back with a tirade.
I put numbers 1, 7, and 9 in the opening leg of the Bipot. Now, number 1, 7th Fleet. I like the fact that Diane had a winner in the week. He's been gelded. And you know that penultimate start wasn't a bad effort whatsoever behind Hong Kong. We know how strong that form line's worked out to be. I put the obvious choice, number 7, Pumpkin Pie. Well fancied on debut, well beaten, but the going was heavy on that occasion. The dam went over 2,400, so I think he's going to love the step up in trip. And I've also included the filly, number 9, Cape Saffron. Now, she's carrying 57 because of the sex allowance. On that run behind Roaming Spirit, she ran alongside Trail Runner.
Yes.
And you know what? The favorite, Pumpkin Pie, ran alongside Trail Runner 2. So on a line through Trail Runner, there's absolutely nothing separating numbers 7 and 9. So yes, I believe we'll double up.
And any improvement from the 10 wearing of the green? If anybody wants to play trifectas quartets.
Yeah, back end.
Yes.
Throw in, yes.
Oh, right.
She was due to run when her stable companion won last weekend. The filly that Muzi Yeni won on Mark de Kock.
I was totally
Emerald de Pont.
Oh, yes, of course. That is in the colours of the Turffontein, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so that is 1, 7, and 9. There it is, confirmed. Leg 1 of the Bipot. There is that banker in leg number 3, and that will be the 4. That is race number 4. Right, we got a PA, and that starts in race number 3. It is the Fillies and Mares maiden plate over the 1,400 meters, and certainly looking to get out of those maidens. And now that the penny has dropped, is the 1 Tipperary, and of course the big telltale sign there is that Mr. Gavin Arena retains the ride after a very good second behind DuPont Emerald, whom we just alluded to not so long ago. That is the Tipperary, a Lancaster bomber from an informed stable of Paul Matchett. That is currently at 18 to 10, and if you look beyond that, you've got 4 to 1 about the 9. That is Wagram. That's a local debutant formula with Candice Bass Robinson in Justin Snaith, I beg your pardon, in the Western Cape. I beg your pardon. That is Justin Snaith, the former trainer. Candice used to train the 2 Sheets and Goggles, who is actually also debuting here on the Highveld for Fani Broncos. Mr. Marie, first leg of the PA, number 1 Tipperary, reliable enough to bank her?
Not for me. I'll give her a strong winning chance. You know, she's well exposed. She's going to get it right one of these days. Let's see how she goes. Steps up to 1,400 once again. And Gavin sticks with her. Let's just see if Gavin is riding. I believe he was stood down at the Vaal on Thursday.
Yes, he had a
with
flu.
and he's not riding at Hollywood Bets Gravel on Friday night. So let's see if he is fit enough and well enough to get back in the irons on Saturday. Obvious chance, having her 15th start. Sheets on Goggles interest me a lot over here. Go back to that Russian Royal run.
Mm-hmm.
You can see she holds Wagram quite comfortably. And she also holds Wagram on the Pink Pigeon run. Mm-hmm. Now, I know many people are going to say her last run at Fairview was very, very disappointing. But it was an open maiden, and it was on the poly track. Mm-hmm. And the going was too quick for her on that occasion. She was just flat-footed in the straight, and she got going very, very late. We all know the Western Cape maiden form is far superior to the Highveld form. Well, not far superior, but generally it holds up well. That was Blind. What was it? Blind Ambition, right? Finished a few lengths ahead of her on the Girl Magic form, and she came out and bolted up for Brett Weber a week ago. Samanga Kamalo, I'm sure you want to get on the board as what Andrew Fortune did midweek. So Storgate number 1, I'm going 2 from 1. I do have respect for a few others. Let's see if intro runs. Did you give the form update?
Form update ran, and that is most recently on the 6th, which would have been yesterday. We're recording on a Friday, finished 8th, and that is 12 and a half lengths, and the work riders behind it, devilishly gorgeous from the Brett and James Crawford stable. 1 and 2, as suggested by Mr. Marie in that first leg of the PA, 128 Rand will be outlay. Okay, so now we get into that first leg of the the pick 6 rather. That is race number 4, our first big exotic beyond the PA and the Bipot. And this is a racing 244 racing for you, Phillies and Mares 91. We dropped to an 1160 distance for race number 4. Now there is a form update. Again, it is question marks, as Daryl asked about the 6 Hong Kong. It's half a length behind a well-backed in-form favourite of Frozen Fantasy, and that was on Thursday over a distance of 1,200 metres. 1160 is the distance. Kabelo Matsunyane is the person designated to ride on Saturday, and that is the Tony Peter runner number 6, the Hong Kong. But let's have a look at the favoritism. It is with an informed Sean Terry charge. Green Sapphire 13 to 10. Number 6 Hong Kong 7 to 2. Number 2 Alicia's Love 9 to 2. 8 to 1 is the 10 Lady of Memphis. The 7 Boston Glory is at 12 to 1, 14s and better bar those. Competitive start if you look beyond the Green Sapphire, the up-and-coming three-year-old, Mr. Marie. How would you go about it? Are you going to be bullish in the first leg of the pick 6?
I am bullish because I've based my perm on the fact that Hong Kong's going to come out. There's no guarantee, but I think she's highly regarded, this filly, and I don't think the stable will want to back her up 48 hours later. I could be proven wrong. I'm bankering Green Sapphire. I think she's over a course and distance. She's most effective over. Up the turffontein 1160, the straight. Last time out around the bend, I'm not too sure if she was hanging out around the bend. But up the straight, Striker kept her up the middle. And the favourite, or the wild-backed fast net filly, snuck up down the inside and got first run on her. She was staying in the latter stages. Drawn on the right side, all is in her favour. Now, on paper, many are going to say Elysia's Love has got a strong chance of reversing the form, but I don't believe so. I think she's having her second run after a rest, and I think Green Sapphire is much better up the straights at this stage of her career, and she's drawn on the wrong side. So I'm favouring 4 over 2. The danger, or an inclusion for exactas and trifectas, I believe, is number 5, Sea Anemone. I thought that was a nice comeback effort last time out after a rest. Blinker stay off, right side, rating continues to drop, throw in please. So for me, I'm actually going 4 from 5 over here, but a banker in the pick 6.
Bank in the pick 6, and that is number 4 Green Sapphire to make it 3 wins from 7 outings for Sean Terry and Gavin Arena, and those familiar sorts of the Breeders' Drockenstein stud. The pick 6 kicks off at 2:15 Saturday. Okay, so we get into our feature segment of the afternoon. It is, of course, the Ormond Ferraris Oaks trial. 2,000 meters is the trip, and hopefully, for those who will be on course on Saturday, they will get a chance to see the great man. He still loves his racing, and I do believe that behind the scenes, he still mentors quite a bit, which is a very good thing for the sport of our sport, racing. Right, so this is race number 5, 2,000 meters a trip for the Oaks trial, and the favoritism. That is with number 1, Queen of Love, and that is a 33 to 10. The 4, Ancient Wisdom, is a 9 to 2, 6 to 1. Numbers 5, a Key Worker. The 8, Popular Park, is at 6 to 1, and then it's 8 to 1 and a better bar. Those interesting decision, or is it a case of loyalty and the commitments to the Peter stable? Gavin Arena takes a ride on Ancient Wisdom. He's been a regular partner of a Key Worker in the past, and of course you've got the 1, a Queen of Love. Stable stepping out quite a few runners on Saturday. They had a few yesterday at the Val as well.
Yes, I'd love to know if Gavin had the choice because he has been riding for Magna. He might have had the chance on key work, I'm not too sure. Even if you could get down to 55.5 for Mountain High.
If you really want to split hairs, he's also ridden Cocomelon with the put.
So, yeah, ancient wisdom. We heard from Tony in the Track Talk interview. She wasn't fancied last time out. She was expected to need the run because of the work that they missed, and she surprised the connection. So she must be well above averages, Philly.
I was actually working that day.
Queen of Love, lovely improving top. She now steps up to 2,000. Let's see how she goes. Cocomelon, I had a look at her breeding. Willow Magic out of a mare that won over 1,000 meters. So she's been bumped up to 2,000. Let's see how she goes. If she stays, she must be a factor.
There's
I've
an
got my
interview.
doubts.
I'm sorry to be rude, but I'm sure I'm putting words in the trainer's mouth or somebody, but there was word that this horse is now needing further.
Okay.
This is after the last run, I think. They were saying, yeah, because there was a follow-up. Hey, what did you think of Cocomelon's run earlier?
Yeah.
He says, I think we'll need further.
Sure.
I'm sure, but
I'm
I
cutting
speak
my
under
ties.
direction.
I'm cutting my ties. I liked it last time out.
Yeah.
She didn't raise a gallop. Key worker, Jeff Saister last time out put her in the race early, and I thought that was a very game win. She kept on finding all the way to the line. Mountain High, maybe the pennies dropped for this filly. Very costly in the past, but last time out was a smooth victory. Will certainly have boosted her confidence. Poplar Park's got a chance. The one I'm leaning towards is Gary Basil's and partners, Tuscan Star, number 10. Let's hope she can put a smile on Gary's face after last weekend in the Classic. But I think she's going to love the testing 2,000 meters. On the stand side track, having a peak run. Nice weight to shoulder, 54 drawn 1. I'm really keen to see how she goes. I know on paper she's held by Queen of Love in her penultimate start, but please believe you me, there will not be 8 lengths separating them this time.
Okay, so that is Tuscan Star, and that is a tentative first choice. 1, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10 are the numbers you need for that first leg of the first jackpot. It is, of course, the listed, or no, non-listed Ormond Ferrars Oaks trial. It's non-black type and over the 2,000 meters. Right, so we go to our next trial event, and this is a listed World Sports Betting Awam Stakes over the 2,000 meters, renamed recently, and I do know that last year's edition was won by the stable companion who runs in the Aquanut. That is race number 7, and it goes by the name Marauding Horde, who comes into that particular race in good form. Let's talk about the 6th race. We've already looked at our betting, and let's a reminder for those who missed it. It is Immediate Edge looking for 3 from 3. And that is, of course, looking at Mike de Kock following up on last year's victory by Marauding Horde with Immediate Edge in the colours of Aldi at South Africa. But the horse that the analysts are leaning towards in the studio weighted to win is a Count Hutiku. And that is a 3-year-old son of Roma who recently won its maiden. Perhaps we can just have a look at that closing stages once again of the victory itself. That is Crown Tuku, and it will be Mr. Kabira Matsunyane retaining the rider for Messrs. Brett and James Crawford in those familiar souls of Mr. Bonsai. That is the green and yellow checked.
Yes, so you can see the first 2 dominated over here. I mean, I think they pulled 14 lengths clear of the balance of the field. I know on paper he's got his work cut out because he was having his 3rd start, whereas Immediate Edge was making his debut, and he was beaten 2.5 lengths. But he is 3 kilograms better off, and I might add, at that stage, Brett and James's yard was very quiet. So I think he's going to love the step up. You can see in that replay, he just kept on finding. And I have no doubt that Cabello's going to make use of him and go forward. So he could pose a threat to or a danger to the favorite. I do believe,
so no, carry on.
I do believe Immediate Edge is the right horse in the race. You know, he's done absolutely nothing wrong. I love the progress he showed from run 1 to run 2. And if he's come on since then, he will certainly prove to be better than his current rating. I also believe he's a much better sort on the stand side track. But I think Brett Stable's turned, or Brett and James have turned, and Cabello is going to push forward. So I'm not looking past the two of them. I do believe they will be the two to focus on over here. 4 and 12 to fight it out. I made Count Hutuku my insure bet based on his current odds. Insure bet 3 places, you can get 28 to 10.
That is the jackpot selection from Daryl. Race number 6 is the first leg of the second and final jackpot, and that is off at 15 at 25. The 2025 renewal of the World Sports Betting listed warm stakes of the 2000. Well, we did allude to who won at the Warm Stakes last year. It was indeed one of your fancied horses in what will be a very competitive race, number 7. This is the last of our features. This is the listed World Sports Betting Aquanut Handicap. It's over the 2400, I did say 27. It's 2400 meters. And in this particular instance, in a race number 7, your favoritism, it's a very weak favorite at 4-1, and that is her Warm Stakes winner last year. Marauding Horde is looking to make it back-to-back course and distance victories over the 2400, and that is at 4-1. Number 5, Raise and Hallelujah, is at 5-1, and number 6, Battleground, 6-1. And now the top 3 all met when Marauding Horde won last time out, and you can also throw in Crimson King, who didn't quite run a race expected there, 20 lengths behind them. But Ms. Marie, we're looking at a very interesting renewal of the Aquanaut. There are sneakers perhaps you could find for us, and we'll hand over to you.
Well, I'm hoping there's a sneaker that comes to the Fovia, because I've left out the top 3 in the betting. So let's hope we're still alive in the perms by the time we get to this stage, because if we survive over here, we're certainly going to get boosted.
Yes.
Have a look at the Dr. Richard Maponya handicap form line, says.
Yes.
Thunny Player 1,
yes.
Son of Raj has franked that form.
Yeah.
Marauding Horde has franked that form. And Potter Ruby franked that form. I think his last start was very encouraging. Manu Pandaram took the blinkers off. He showed interest and he finished his race off beautifully. I know he hung in late, but I think he's in a good space, this horse. I know Manu hasn't had a winner in recent times. When's his last winner? Was it Thunny Player?
Thunny Player, that was just after he had got his license. If you recall.
I think Thunny Player was his.
Yes, he had just got his license.
But he's...
And then we had an action-packed, incident-filled afternoon. We had the unfortunate incident with the young Mr. Trent Mayhew. After the race itself, there was an objection after Thunny Player won. So we didn't know whether to hand over the trophy or not, and it was all,
Yeah, but I do want to say he's out of a Galileo mare, and I think he's really going to love the extra. I know he's been there, the 2450 in the Derby, but that was it as a 3-year-old. I've also included number 9 Breeze Over. You know, Muzi Yeni gets on well. He's got 54. He's a galloping type, this horse. I know they've tried different tactics recently, tried to settle him, but I think with 54 this time around, they are going to push forward. Forgiveness says last time out she never picked up a penalty. She ran well above her rating, and you know what, she's exposed on the outside with no cover in that race. Very excuse me, very creditable effort on her behalf. Will she see out the 2450, or is she effective of the 24 or the 2400? Let's see how she goes. And then 20 drachmas right at the bottom. I know he's a kilogram under sufferance, but I think he's coming back to form. So yes, I've gone with numbers 3, 9, 11 and 13.
Certainly looking forward to the renewal of the Aquanaut race number 7. 3, 9, 11, 13. That's the 3 without the top 3 in the betting. Well, we stay over course and distance for race number 8. This will be the last leg of the first jackpot, a book for Champions Day, 29 of March, merit rate at 80. And that's a field of 9 to face up. And in race number 8, this could see a blast from the past possibly come through and win if current form is anything to go by. But it is the informed Sean Terry stable that set out the favourite, and that is the 2-2, the rescue. The blast from the past, rather, the 3 Afrod, is certainly in rude health and would not be a surprise to see it win, hence priced up second favourite 5-2, 4-1, and a better bar those. Coffeeberry finally earning a stake check since relocating from across the border. And that rating has gone up those 2 points once again from 74 to 76 after having dropped down from the 80.
Yes, I like her chances. I thought she finished that race off beautifully. Was over 2400, same course and distance. Like you say, she did go, pick up a 1 kg penalty, and she's now 1 kg worse off with Romeo's Magic. I don't think there's going to be much separating the two of them. You know, Romeo's Magic, Gavin reunites, and the blinkers come off. In his penultimate start with Gavin and the blinkers off, he bolted up, beats him flag bearer. So, like I say, shouldn't be much separating numbers 5 and 7. There shouldn't be much separating Afrod and To The Rescue either. Go back to the Demover run. Afrod actually beats To The Rescue, and Afrod is half a kilogram and beat To The Rescue, better off. So nothing separating the two of them. You can see in my pick 6, my jackpot, I went the entire field.
Yeah.
I am looking for an upset of the year. Pushed into a corner, numbers 5 and 7 are my top 2.
Okay, 5 and 7, Coffeeberry and Romeo's Magic, the top 2 in race number 8. So that is the first leg of the last double, race number 8, and that is a due time of 16:40. Fillies and Mares 77 divided handicap will bring the curtain down on what should be a very good afternoon's racing at turffontein on the standside track. The 4 Maverick Queen is the only omission, was tipped to win by Mr. Gaylord in computer form. That leaves us a field of 14, and that said and done, the favourite is indeed an informed owner, and that is Mr. Stanky Poe with number 6, Blizzard Snow, at 5-2. The 7 One Party 9-2. 11 Just Jazzed Up is at 8-1. 10-1 the 13 Happy Wives. 11-1 numbers 2 Divine Moonlight and the 5 Quasi Cat. 12s and Better Bar those. So the 4 Maverick Queen is out of contention, Mr. Marie. It's a distance of 1160 for race number 9. And could be a nice race to catch a quartet. How are you going to suggest we play this?
Yeah, I've suggested an exacta box in the last race for the viewers. I've gone with numbers 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now let's touch on Blizzard Snow. You know, it was heartbreaking to see Wes get nabbed on the post last time out. I mean, he did everything right on her. He waited patiently, and he picked her up towards the end, and she just got collared or just got nabbed. Yeah, you know, she's off the same rating. Up the straight, on the outside, drawn towards the outside. I think she must be a run over here. I don't make her a good thing, but she's a live wire. Quasi Cat. Now, last time out, Marcon tried her over the 1450, if I'm not mistaken, on the inside track. She had a horrible draw to contend with. She was pulling, and she wasn't beaten far whatsoever. She now reverts back up the straight, drawn towards the outside. Andrew's on her. Her ratings off the same mark. And you know what? I wanted to add something over here. I think, oh yes, Mark on stable. Whistle Downs won. Mizzen Sword got touched off. A short head. His stable's come into form. You need to follow Mark's yard. He doesn't send out many runners, but I think they've struck form. One Party. I think on the Fastnet Filly run, there's absolutely nothing separating her and Quasi Cat. And then the spook in the pack, number 8, Valiva. Have a look at her rating. Right down to a 79. Drawn on the outside. Last time out, the winner went start to finish. Valieva never got a blow in. But I might add that she was running off the fence. I prefer up the straight. So please, if you are playing trifectas, quartets, exactas, number 8 has to go into your play.
Valieva hoping to dance to that second victory from 16 outings. And that was Daryl and his thoughts for turffontein.